Hi, I'm Celia. I'm a Women's Health Physio at My Physio SA, and today we're going to be talking about normal bowel movements. So lots of people ask me what's normal for your bowels, and there's a huge variation with the frequency of how often you might empty your bowels. Some people go every day, but most people can have a variation up to 3 times a day and not going every day, but sometimes only going every 3 days. So as long as you're in a regular routine with your bowels and you know what's normal for you, anywhere between 3 times a day to once every 3 days is still very normal for your bowels. What can also change is the consistency of your bowels. So if you're looking at this chart, which we'll put up at the end of the video, what's normal for your bowels is aiming between a type 3 to a type 4. This is when the stool is quite soft, but it's still formed, so it's easy to pass a complete bowel motion. If it becomes quite firm, then often you may need to strain, which can cause damage to your bowels, your rectum, but also can develop prolapse in the area, which is not what we would like for your long-term health. If your bowels are too loose and your stools are loose, you can often have to go really frequently during the day and get a sensation that you haven't completely emptied your bowels. So ideally, thinking about having the consistency around that 3 to 4, avoiding the ends of the spectrum. If you are constipated, that is a group of symptoms that isn't the same for every person. Often with constipation, you can be straining, you can have pain when you're evacuating your bowels. You may need to digitate using a finger to assist the bowels to empty, and you're usually only emptying your bowels over every 3 days, so there's an increased time between you emptying your stools, and the stools are quite hard, so then we're looking again on the scale, the 1 to 2. So you may not have all of those symptoms, but you may have a couple of them. That's a sign that your bowels are not evacuating fully or completely, but you may have a problem with how quickly the stools are passing through your gut as well. So that's where a full assessment is very important, because it might be a different type of treatment for each person depending on what is causing your problem. Straining with your bowels is very important to try and avoid, which is why we want to try and aim for that soft consistency in the middle to make sure that you can completely empty without needing to strain, as that can cause long-term damage, resulting in pelvic floor problems such as weakness or prolapse. So if any of these symptoms sound like they are similar to what you may be experiencing, check out some of my other blogs and videos for more information, and also the links below on good healthy eating habits, which is really an important factor in managing your bowels. If you do have any sudden changes to your bowels, especially bleeding, make sure you do check with your GP to rule out any other concerns.